Back with the Brother Roo.
Bam.
Check out Zebec.io once again. Here's the main gist of it. Another key discovery. Again, we always try to get really into some of these things, but your aha moment should be this. We covered how zbcn has your Blackstone and your BlackRock connection.
Yep.
No other coin really has both, right? Ondo has BlackRock, but they don't have both BlackRock and Blackstone. So those videos, in my opinion, were probably the two biggest deals. We cover some other things. In my opinion, this is a close second to those. If you had to rank them technically, this is probably like the third biggest deal. We're going to get into all of it and why it matters to you. So we're going to check out this company that you're going to see here, okay? And again, listed towards the bottom. In fact, I got to refresh it again because for some reason, there we go, it needs to scroll by. So area of emphasis is, this one's going to come across the screen here in a bit. Now, of course, last few weeks we did Becco, and we have another Becco coming up. That we're going to do another one, like a final connector. So for today is DST Global.
If managing your crypto feels like solving a puzzle, it's time to switch to Decent Wallet. It's just a few taps. You can manage, track, and secure your crypto with unmatched ease. And here's the best part. Grab your Decent Wallet at a discounted price by using the referral link below. Don't miss out on making your crypto experience smoother and more secure.
Okay, so again, key partner of Zebec. And boy, oh boy, do they have a massive connection, to say the least. If you go do a search on DST Global, well, it gets really interesting. DST Global is a venture capital and private equity firm that primarily invests in late-stage internet companies. DST Global has been described as one of the largest and most influential venture firms in the world, an estimated $50 billion in assets under management. That is a big deal. Of course, it's not quite as crazy as like your BlackRocks and so on, but they are definitely well connected. Area of focus will be on this guy who is DST Global's founder. His name is Yuri Milner. Okay, so Yuri Milner and his co-founders that you see here, that's not the focus. The focus is on the company. So the company was founded back in 2009. It's a spinoff from Russian company Digital Sky Technologies, which became Mail.ru. I'm actually familiar with that because I had some dealings many years ago with a business, and a lot of our clients had Mail.ru. They're just as big over there, like it'd be like you having Gmail, if you will. It's pretty big. All right, so DST Global international investments were focused on emerging markets such as China. Rue and I just recently did this Swift coin outline about the significance of what's happening recently with China.
Yep.
Interesting to also see this. Okay, so again, why bring this to your attention? Okay, so one thing I want to point out here is from Crunchbase. DST Global is an investment firm that funds late-stage ventures in the internet industry. Another thing I want to point out, and actually I'll blow it up a little bit bigger for you guys. All right, maybe make it like right here. It's basically this. Some of the other key things. What's recent? May 21st, 2025, Crunchbase News, FinTech funding holds strong as Air Wallet lands. Actually, what am I doing? Not that part. The other thing I want to point out here is basically 294 investments, the funding, the acquisitions, okay? And what you're about to see here on the next page is actually this. DST Global has made several outgoing investments in various companies. They participated in what's referred to as Zepto's ongoing fundraise and invested in Klazar's 10 million Series A round. Additionally, DST Global was involved in Uno's $25 million funding round. So the only reason why I'm showing you guys this is because they're constantly active in many different investments, different ventures, so on and so forth. And again, when I get more into it all, this guy came up. Okay, so he's a co-founder, and his name is John Lindfors. Okay, so John Lindfors is co-founder of DST Global. Now, here's the bottom line with him. Recently, I think this is a video that Rue and I had to redo. You'll see this on another Zebec outline because, again, we had some audio issues and we just had to decide to reshoot it. In the other outline, it points out a lot about hedge funds and, like, I think a little bit of Goldman Sachs. Now, everybody knows about Goldman Sachs. Look at this. So, for one, yeah, he's the co-founder of DST Global, and basically, like it says, previously worked at Goldman Sachs as the head of tech immediate investment banking in the EMEA region before transitioning to Digital Sky Technologies in 2010. Now, you may be wondering, like, how does this all tie into Zebec? I get it. Something I want to point out with it is, again, when you see what they post and you see the terminology, it will all make sense. John Lindfors, again, DST Capital, DST Investment Management, again, Hong Kong. A lot of talk about Hong Kong, especially with Swift Blockchain, our recent video. But co-founder, so from September 2010 to present, 14 years, right? He didn't just, this is not some guy that just joined up like a year ago. 14 years, 10 months, almost 15 years, actually. Before that, from 1993 to 2010, 17 years he was with Goldman Sachs.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's head of tech immediate investment banking. All right, so banking. That's interesting because, we obviously talk about zbcn, not just about payroll, but, the banking plug, obviously the XRP connections, your Stellar connections, so on and so forth, right? Pull up a little bit more information for you guys. Let's bring you over to dealroom.co. I would blow this up a little bit bigger for you guys, but basically it just kind of messes with the outline. So for one, what's interesting is the latest fund size a while back was 2015, but they had 5.4 billion assets under management. They've had some recent deals. One of the highlights is going to be Superintelligence, and we'll get in that in a moment. But whatever the case be, they have unicorns, okay? And of course, Rue and I pointed out a while back about, like, for example, Tim Draper, and their biggest unicorn was Elon Musk. Well, interesting with this is what you see here in regard to EMEA unicorns, Poolside AI, Bitpanda. I think Rue and I recently did something about Bitpanda, okay? Another unicorn is Nubank, all right? So pull it further down, notable investments, interesting to see this, Meta, ByteDance, I covered that on my channel.
Yeah, this one too.
Yeah, absolutely. Alibaba, I think Rue's covered a few things with Alibaba in the past. I have as well. We covered a lot recently with Stripe. Again, the other video we're referring to will come out soon. But there's more examples about Stripe. DoorDash, we just recently did the whole topic of Zebec and the potential for Uber.
Yeah.
So another example of, Uber, there's Uber Eats. Again, DoorDash is a competitor of that. You can kind of have an idea of how this is going to unwind here soon. But whatever the case be, it's something like what you're about to see. Okay, so on the next page, remember how I mentioned Superintelligence? This is, in my opinion, the third biggest deal in this order. Literally BlackRock, Blackstone, and this. Seriously. You'll be completely convinced why this is a huge deal. Okay, so Superintelligence, safe superintelligence, developing safe superintelligent AI. In the tags, it's interesting to always see this. So Quantum Network does the same thing. You go to Quantum Network, Rue, at the very bottom, it lists tags. Like if there's any dealings with Andreessen Horowitz, it will tag that. If it was something like with Draper, it would tag that. Not saying Quant has anything to do with Draper,
right.
But it will tag all those key things. It's like they give us little snippets of things without violating an NDA.
Right.
So what I want to point out for you guys is bank to bank, software as a service, subscription. Think about subscription. All right. So like in reality, when we talk about zbcn, there is some subscription-based models. You covered it on your live shows and recorded videos and so on. Enterprise software, commission. Think about how we talked about commission, especially when it comes to, rewards tokens, and even a little bit of that one we covered earlier. What was it, Kareem?
Yeah.
That we discovered with the key to Zebec through Beko. And the
Topi.
other, yeah. And then, like it says here, deep learning and so on. So again, what I want to highlight here is, again, birds of feather flock together. Remember how we covered Lightspeed? Well, as of April 2025, one of their investors is Lightspeed. And one of the other investors is Andreessen Horowitz.
Nice.
So interesting how it all comes together. It's not just a coincidence like, oh, they just list this investor. There's no big deal. Of course it's a big deal because they're part of an investment ecosystem.
Yeah, and remember, Zebec is also partnered with Anthropic too, AI. So
Yes.
big deal there.
Absolute big deal. And, I was just trying to zoom in a little bit more. Yeah, as you see there, Lightspeed Ventures, Andreessen Horowitz, DST Global, Green Oaks Capital Partners, so on and so forth. And they were early VC in that, by the way.
And remember, Lightspeed is also another one of Zebec's investors.
Yes. The other thing I want to pull up on your screen is this piece that was, it's not really a piece. If you go to ssi.inc, okay, Safe Superintelligence Inc. Update. We've raised $1 billion from NFDG, A16Z, I'm familiar with them, Sequoia, DST Global, and SV Angel.
SV Angel is an investor in XCN, by the way.
Wow. Well, then there you go, right? Need I say more? Or, do we need to say more? Superintelligence is within reach. Building superintelligence SSI is the most important technical problem of our time. Wow, that's a bold statement. So we have started the world's first straight shot SSI lab with one goal and one product, a safe superintelligence. It's called Safe Superintelligence Inc. SSI is our mission, our name, our entire product roadmap. Because of its sole focus, our team, investors, and business model are all aligned to achieve SSI. We approach safety and capabilities in tandem as technical problems to be solved through revolutionary engineering and scientific breakthroughs. We plan to advance capabilities as fast as possible, making sure our safety always remains ahead. But this part, if you go down to where it says singular focus means no distraction, management, overhead of product cycles, or our business model means safety, security, progress, short-term commercial pressures. We are an American company. That's a big deal. We have offices in Palo Alto, Tel Aviv, where we have deep roots and the ability to recruit top technical talent. Now look what it says here. We have assembled a lean, crack team of the world's best engineers and researchers dedicated to focusing on SSI and nothing else. If that's you, we offer an opportunity, right? So if anything, like they're hiring, okay? That's all there is on that particular site. Now you may think like, geez, I don't know if that's too impressive, but what is impressive is when you go over to what says their Wikipedia page. This, in my opinion, just absolutely blew my socks off. Safe Intelligence, or Safe Superintelligence Inc. Look at this, everybody. American artificial intelligence company founded by Ayla Sutskever. And if you're familiar with this person, let's just blow this up a little bit more. I mean, big deal, right? Israel-Canadian computer scientist who specializes in machine learning, made several major contributions to the field of deep learning with Alex Krzyzewski and Jeffrey Hinton, co-invented AlexNet convolutional neural network. Now, again, any ties to OpenAI is a big deal because we also know, we just covered this not that long ago, Rue. And this is why we cover this. Project Stargate 2025, who's at the forefront, also part of that? It's OpenAI. That's a big deal. So now we have two connections with Project Stargate 2025 in regard to partners with Zebec. All right. Look what it also mentions here. It says that you have Daniel Gross was the former head of Apple AI. So now you have connection to Apple. You also have the whole thing, the company's mission is to focus safely developing superintelligence, computer-based agent capable of surpassing human intelligence. All right. There's something I want to jump down to here. Back in May of 2024, the company, Ayla Sutskever actually left OpenAI, which is, you guys know as ChatGPT. The company co-founded, and after a board dispute where he voted to fire Sam Altman. Some of you guys aren't the biggest fans of Sam Altman, right? And made concerns over communication and trust. Sutskever and others additionally believe that OpenAI was neglecting its original focus on safety in favor of pursuing opportunities for commercialization. Back in 2024, he posted on X he was starting an SSI Inc. So again, this company that we're highlighting, with the goal to safely develop super intelligent AI. All right, see what you want. When you look more into this, back to Rue's research, pound it home once again. Because
bam.
SSI revealed it had raised back in September 2024 $1 billion from venture capital firms, including SV Angel, back to what Rue was talking about, DST Global, what I'm bringing to you today, Sequoia Capital, which I think both of us have covered Sequoia, and Andreessen Horowitz. The money will be used to build up more computing power and hire top individuals in the field. Now here's the whopper. Back in just a few months ago, SSI reached a $30 billion valuation in a funding round led by Green Oaks Capital, 6 times its previous $5 billion valuation. They did a 6x, everybody. But wait, as Billy Mays would say, there is more. So for one, we got an OpenAI connection, ChatGPT. We have an Apple AI connection. That's big in itself, right? And again, it gets better. Google Cloud. April 2025, Google Cloud announced a partnership to provide TPUs for SSI's research. Now, you may be wondering, what the heck is a TPU? I couldn't blame you. Let's take you to what that is real quick. A TPU is a tensor processing unit. And what's important here is, like I said, it's an AI accelerated application specified integrated circuit, ASIC, developed by Google for neural network machine learning, TensorFlow software, and so on. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. You ever wonder why Zebec is partnered with IoTex? Think about that. Internet of Things, right? Now we're getting more examples of what, Rue? Internet of Things.
Yeah.
Now we know that when it comes to Internet of Things, you could probably maximize utility in motion from every angle you could possibly think of. Uber, do they not use IoT? Some of these DoorDash, some of these other ones, Grubhub and all this. That's so much tied to IoT. Now you put that on a tokenized representation of that. Now you create incentives not only for the Uber drivers, but some of the other competition potentially. You can have an idea how big this is. And that Google plug, that's a big deal moving forward, in my opinion. And of course, we can look more into this, but man, oh man, I think this is the third biggest one that's part of the mix. And just give you a heads up, Rue wants to inject some things here.
Yeah, with that IoT thing blowing my mind. But here I was looking at DST Global's investments, of which there are 11. Love the number 11. But here we know the jurisdiction is Hong Kong. Again, we've talked about Hong Kong, and I've talked about it numerous times as being kind of the gateway of getting money into the whole BRICS nation area. But if we look at the top investments here, these scream Tim Draper to me. You see here we got Revolut. If you scroll down here. So we got Revolut, Lemon Cash, and Robinhood. We also have up there Bitpanda, which we were mentioning in a different episode. So some really big ones. And if we look here, I just want to show you the links to Tim Draper here. We got Lemon Cash.
Do you want me to go to the different tab?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Lemon Cash is in Latin America, and this is an exchange. Okay, so again, the whole control of money, the whole supply chain of money, if you will. Again, if Zebec and others are going to be in control of payroll, then having things like Lemon Cash and things like that are going to be important. And in one of the spaces, Simon, the COO of ZBCN, said, hey, we're modeling our super app off of Revolut. And here we are, again, with DST DST Global.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome, Rue.
Right?
Way
With
to go, man.
Global being an investor in Revolut. Okay? So, if we go over here and look next here, we got Robinhood.
Oh, the next tab. I'm so
Next.
sorry.
No
Yeah.
problem. We have Robinhood there, and then we have here the next tab. We have Draper eSpirit's Revolut stake rises to 119 million British pounds. Okay, 119. You got the 19 number there. You know how I love that. But Draper eSpirit, just for those who know the history, they've turned into Molten. But there's a lot of reason to say that Draper still has a connection to these guys. So, there it is, where Draper is involved with Revolut. So we know Draper is involved with Zebec through his Coinbase Ventures investment. We know he's also involved there with Swift Blockchain through Nautilus Chain, which Zebec sold, but they're still a part of that. So this has Draper's fingers all over it. And like I said earlier, Simon, CEO of zbcn, said, hey, we're modeling our super app off of Revolut. Okay, so
Great findings. And the other thing I'm going to look into later, we're about to wrap this up. So Rue mentioned earlier, basically, what was it? Yeah, Limit Cash. So Limit Cash Latin America. Well, of course, we also saw here on the examples what Rue mentioned specifically with Revolut. We know that Revolut holds 25,000 plus QNT, but it's interesting to see the common ground here, especially with Draper. So Limit Cash, Latin America, again, Quant has LAC Chain, and I'm going to try to do more research to find out if Limit Cash has any ties to not only LAC Chain, but the ISO TC 307 standard, because we have shown you guys numerous integrations, of course, with Quant Network in that regard. But I think your key takeaway here is that plug, especially to this one that's referred to as Safe Superintelligence Inc., because there's some big players here. I mean, looking to do some very, very big things, and as of recent, just a few months ago, and so on. So that tie, once again, that second example to, your Project Stargate 2025, because you have either Oracle, you have, OpenAI, like your Chat GPTs and so on. And then was it not that long ago? Yeah, we did bad audio. We apologize. We're really trying our best to work that out, guys.
this should be much better.
Hopefully it is. Again, it's a lot of trial and troubleshooting, I should say. But one of the things that was discovered in the past was Zebec, and of course, remember SoftBank. So SoftBank also the Project 2025 plug. So all these ones, a lot of interesting things, and this is why I bring it to you guys. So if you listen to the entire outline, simply do us a solid and type into the comments what keyword.
DST.
And we'll know that you listened to the entire outline. On behalf of myself and the Brother Rue,
Bam.
we'll see you guys on the next one.
Peace.